Welcome to the Automated Daily, Top News Edition. I'm your host, Trend Teller, bringing you the most significant news stories from around the globe. Today is the 2nd of August, 2023, and we have a lot to cover, so let's dive right in. Let's kick things off with some financial news. Fitch, one of the world's leading credit rating agencies, has downgraded the U.S. government's credit rating from AAA to AA+. This decision, which has sparked a fiery response from the White House, comes despite the resolution of the debt ceiling crisis 2 months ago. Fitch cites fiscal deterioration and repeated debt ceiling negotiations as the reasons behind this downgrade. This makes Fitch the second major rating agency to strip the United States of its AAA rating, following Standard & Poor's. While this is a blow to the U.S.'s reputation, experts believe it will have a limited impact on the economy and markets. Moving on to health news, the world's first malaria vaccine, Mosquirix, has been a long time coming due to the complex nature of the disease. Developed by GSK, the vaccine has been in the works since the 1980s and has shown a 30% reduction in severe malaria infections and a 10% decline in mortality in trials. However, its efficacy is relatively low compared to COVID-19 vaccines. Researchers are hopeful that more effective vaccines will be developed in the future. In international news, Ukraine's air defenses shot down 10 drones during an overnight attack on Kyiv from Russia. Despite the barrage of drone attacks, there were no casualties reported. Russian opposition leader Alexei Navalny has called the invasion of Ukraine the most stupid and senseless war of the 21st century. The Kremlin may struggle to deal with more frequent attacks on its cities while continuing to refrain from fully mobilizing its population for war. Back in the U.S., the Justice Department has indicted former President Donald Trump for his efforts to overturn the results of the 2020 presidential election. The indictment alleges that Trump tried to create an atmosphere of mistrust and anger after the election, lied about the election results, and knew that his lies were false but spread them anyway. Turning to climate news, July 2023 has been declared the hottest month on record, with a record number of record-breaking climate events occurring. Heat waves were experienced in the United States, Asia, and Europe, and scientists say that these events would have been virtually impossible without climate change. The rise in greenhouse gas emissions has locked in rising temperatures through the 2030s, but swift and steep cuts in emissions could still help in the long term. In medical news, a recent review published in Frontiers in Medicine explores the long-term effects of SARS-CoV-2 infection on various organs and systems. The review also highlights the exercise intolerance experienced by individuals with long COVID and the need for further research on optimal exercise management for these patients. Turning to human rights, a team of war crime investigators has found that almost half of the prisoners detained in Kherson, Ukraine, by Russian troops were subjected to torture. The actions of the Russian military in the Kherson detention centers are being investigated as potential genocide. In scientific news, a recent study has evaluated the sensitivity of antigen-based rapid diagnostic tests against the most prevalent SARS-CoV-2 variants. The study suggests that commercially available tests should be continually assessed for their sensitivity to all SARS-CoV-2 variants. Finally, in mental health news, a recent study investigated the relationship between COVID-19 and anxiety disorders and symptoms. The study found a high genetic link between anxiety disorders and COVID-19 positivity and hospitalization. It also found that COVID-19 outcomes may contribute to anxiety-related behavioral symptoms. Lastly, Beijing experienced the heaviest rainfall in 140 years, with the average rainfall for the entire month of July falling in just 40 hours. The extreme weather comes as China denies reports that it obstructed discussions on tackling climate change at G20 meetings. The heavy rain has caused flooding and resulted in the deaths of 20 people in Beijing. Scientists say that China's extreme weather is being exacerbated by the climate crisis. And that's a wrap for today's edition of the Automated Daily. I'm Trend Teller, and I'll be back tomorrow with more top news stories. Stay informed, stay safe, and have a great day.